Hey everyone, I'm Ruth. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'll be drawing a fox with pastel pencils. First, I'll be painting the background in soft pastel, and then I will be drawing the fox with pastel pencils. I will show you how to draw a fox eye and also how to draw realistic fur. So, let's get right into the tutorial. I start by taping my paper to the surface. Then I draw a light pencil sketch with my mechanical pencil. For this drawing, I use Pastelmat paper. It works really well with soft pastels and pastel pencils. When I'm happy with my sketch, I start painting in the background. And I use various colors of green, gray, and white, and mix them in together with a PanPastel tool. You can also use your finger to blend these colors together. I want the background to be blurry, and I try to achieve that with these various colors. On the other side of the paper, I use blues and grays and white for the background, and blend that together as well. I use my Rembrandt soft pastels for the background, and they really blend very nice on the Pastelmat paper. And I just keep layering and adding color to achieve that blurry effect. As you can see, I keep mixing the colors together, adding more color, blending it out. And I do this until I'm happy with my background. So now I start with the eye. I start with black around the eye, and then an orange color and white over the top for the reflection in the eye. And with pastel, it's really nice that you can work with light over dark, so when the pastel gets smudged a little bit, it's no problem. You can go over it again with the white and achieve that really nice highlight in the eye. And for the fur, I start with a basic layer of the darker tones, and then go over it with the lighter colors and draw in the fur. So I draw in really tiny little hairs around the eye, because the hairs of the fox, the fur is very short around the eye. So I draw in really tiny hairs. And again I start with a basic layer of a darker color, and then I go over it with the lighter color. And this is just the first basic layer. Later on I'll go over it again with various shades of orange and brown and yellow and white. For the nose I use black and dark blue to create depth in the nose. I don't only use the black because it gives a flat effect. I go over it with the dark blue and then light yellow for the highlight. Then I continue with the head of the fox and I go over it again with yellows and white, and light brown, grey, and I draw really tiny hairs, so it's basically really fine lines to create that really short fur effect. The fur on the snout is a lot shorter than the fur on the top of the head of the fox. So as I go up, I draw longer hairs, longer fur, and I really pay attention to in which direction the fur is growing, because if I just draw in hairs all over the snout and the head in every direction, then it looks really unrealistic. So make sure that you look at your reference photo all the time to make sure that you draw the fur in the right direction. So as you can see, I go over it again with the same colors over and over again and create several layers, so that gives a lot of depth to my drawing and creates the look of real fur. So here, a new section of fur. I start by a basic layer of color and then I go over it and draw the tiny lines, and as you can see they get longer here on top of the head. So now I start with an ear, and again I draw in a very dark color first, the basic color of the ear, and then I start drawing the light colors over that. So here I draw in the tiny hairs and the longer hairs inside the ear. And as you can see, you can very easily draw over the darker color with the pastel pencils. It's really nice. So I've said it before, but with pastel, if you make a mistake, you can just draw over it and correct it very easily. So now I'm darkening up some parts on the head and start with the other ear. And again the darkest color first, and then I start drawing in the lighter color. It's light yellow, and again the short and the longer hairs inside the ear. And then on top of the ear, the fur is almost the same color as on the head of the fox, so I draw that in, and some white for the lightest area. And again, I draw really short fur there, tiny little lines in various colors. And sometimes you see me using a Q-tip, and I use this to blend it out a little bit and then go over it again with more lines, more fur. And here I start again with a new section of fur, and I do the same basic layer of color, and then I go over it with various colors to create the realistic fur. And also there, at the white part of the fur, the fur starts very short, and then as it goes higher up on the head, it gets longer and longer. And I try to create that effect as well by first drawing really short lines, and higher up I draw longer fur. So back to the ear and the head again. I use my yellows and browns, and I keep repeating this to create a lot of depth in the fur. And I use white for the lightest fur. And here I darken up some areas and draw some hairs on top of the head of the fox that stick out. And then I also draw in some whiskers underneath the head of the fox, and I do that with black pastel pencil and also on the side of the head. And now I start with the body of the fox, and I draw in a basic layer of brown, darkest color, and I cover the whole area with the same brown color, just a basic layer, and I blend it out with a Q-tip. And then I start drawing in the fur, and again pay close attention to the direction the fur is growing in, so you can create that really realistic look. And the fur on the body is a really different color than the fur on the head of the fox. And yeah, make sure that the transition looks really smooth. So here I start with the first layer of that fur, and I use my black to create depth and to create the gaps in the fur that you can really see very well when you use a black pastel pencil. So here I go over it with my brown and my lighter orangey brown and some white, again to make that transition from the head to the body look really smooth. And yeah, here I use my light yellow and draw longer fur. As you can see, the fur is really long on the body, and well, I use various colors, a lot of colors here, to create that realistic look. And again, the black for the depth in the fur. And some light yellow over the top. And I keep repeating this. And I use my white to draw in some highlights and some flyaway hairs, because the fur is really messy, and yeah, I really want to create that look on my drawing too. And some finishing touches on the head and the ears. And some more reddish brown on the body, on the fur. Just keep going until you're really happy with the result. And this Pastelmat paper can take a lot of layers, so that's really nice. You can keep going until you're satisfied with your drawing. And here again the black for more shadow in the fur, because I don't want the fur to look flat. And I draw in some more black areas, some dark areas. It's, yeah, I call it gaps in the fur. And yeah, that makes it look really realistic. And some more hairs on top of the body, they stick out a little. Some more black, reddish, brown and white. And again some flyaway hairs on the body. And on top of his back. And then I'm ready to take off the tape. And that's the final result.
Thank you very much for watching my video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell to get informed when a new video comes out. You can leave a comment down below and you can share my video with all your friends. You can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you. Bye.